Welcome back to the 2016-17 Minnesota State High School League Basketball Training Tape Series. My name is Jason Nickleby, Coordinator of Officials. I want to thank you for watching these videos and hanging along with the memos. Hopefully you found them useful as you've gone along with the season. As usual, these plays aren't meant to pick on any one crew or any one team. They're meant as a learning opportunity, and hopefully that's something you can use as we go into the postseason and into the state tournament, and then finally our off season. So we've had a great season. Congratulations. Keep up the good work, and I look forward to seeing you all out there. With that, let's get to the plays. On this play, the trail is in excellent position to rule. He moves as necessary to improve his position, and then we have a steal, and we're going to go the other way. He's in good position as the new lead to rule on the contact at the basket. Now I want to talk about pick six coverage, and by that I mean a steal where they're going the other way, going 100 miles an hour, and we are behind the play, which happens quite a bit. And we have 16 and 17-year-old kids that just move faster than we do. So the best way we can get in position to see this play might be to come behind the play and then just stop and view the action, as opposed to running parallel with the players. You may get straight line on that type of play. Obviously, the best place to be would be on the baseline if you can beat them there. But these are pretty young kids that go pretty fast. So you might have to button hook and come in behind to view the play and view the contact. Otherwise, get to the baseline if you can. But overall, nice job by the crew here. A pretty common refrain in basketball games these days is to hear a coach say, get their hands off, or hand check, or something to that effect. And a lot of the time, you have players that are dribbling into legal defenders, and the defensive player will put his hand or arm up to brace for contact, which is totally legal. We should not call that as an arm bar or as a hand check. However, if their rhythm, speed, balance, or quickness is affected when they use that arm bar and push them off to the side or don't let them get by, then that's a foul. Now, if you notice here, the dribbler will dribble to the baseline, and the defender will put his arm bar against his chest and brace for contact, and the offensive player initiates the contact into him, which is not a defensive foul. We should not call this as an arm bar or as a hand check. However, if he gets by his torso, then that legal guarding position is now gone, and then any subsequent arm bar contact or leg contact would be a blocking foul. So nice job passing here by the crew. On this play, we'll have a pretty good example of a backcourt violation. You'll have the trail and C in very good position to rule on this play. You'll notice that the ball will deflect off of several players before deflecting off of number 11's foot and first recovered in the backcourt by number 5. Proper call by the trail, excellent positioning. Take a look at the rule just so you're familiar with it. It's on page 59 of the rule book, and it's Rule 9.9, and it discusses backcourt violations. And there's also several examples in the case book as well that cover these plays, and that would include page 25 and page 73 of the case book with several examples of backcourt violations. So take a look at those. You want to be able to explain team control, status, first to touch, last to touch, and all those sorts of things so that you can explain these when it happens. But excellent job by the officials here. Very good ruling, excellent rules knowledge, and just listen into the commentating to understand that they also understand this rule as well.
Off the foot of the wingers. It went right off of the foot. And that's the question that's why Toivonen's asking about it, and that's head coach Doug. His son is just wondering about it, but it went off the foot on that side, Kevin, and that's...
Another common refrain you'll hear from coaches is them asking for a moving screen. And if you take a look at the player highlighted, you'll see that number 3 red sets a screen, a stationary screen, and the player from white moves through that screen. Now, not enough for a foul. I don't think there's a whole lot of displacement. That's illegal. They get the desired effect out of it. However, it is a moving screen because the defensive player is moving through the player. So just be able to explain that to the coach that it's not illegal, and the reason it's not illegal is because, and you'll want to use references from Rule 440, which is page 39 in the rule book, and that references screening and what they can do on blind screens, screens within the field of vision, how much room, time, and distance they need to give, all those sorts of factors. Just be familiar with those so you can explain it to the coach. But a very nice no call in this case by the officials. In this clip, we have an excellent example of a no call for traveling. Our officials are in good position. The lead is closed down. The C is in good position to see this play start, develop, and finish. I can't speak to the foul on this play. However, I can speak to the traveling aspect, and it's an excellent no call. You'll notice that his left foot is the pivot foot. He picks it up just to shoot, but it never goes back down, therefore not a traveling violation. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for the pivot foot. As I've stated before, you can call it whatever you want, Euro step, step through, up and under, whatever terminology is used out there. The bottom line is we're looking for the pivot foot. The pivot foot comes up but not down. Excellent no call by the officials. I wanted to show this clip because it has several examples of factors that we have to take into account when we're officiating, and that would include block charge, passing crash, out of bounds, court coverage. Officiating is not an easy gig, and this is an example of why. We have a lot of things to take into account, and I just want to point out that on this play at the rim, we want the lead to be able to rule on this contact on whether it's a flop, it's incidental, block charge, whatever the case may be. If we feel that the offensive player has some room to come down and kind of plays down into the defender in more of a vertical fashion, then we could have incidental contact and a no call. And if he plays more through his torso, then we would have a crash. And once again, we would want this call to come from lead or no call to come from lead. And when the ball goes away, it would just go to the C side, and the C would take the ball, lead would take the crash. Same thing if the ball went to the other side, lead would take the potential foul, and the trail would take the ball. Now in this example, I feel we have a pretty good no call for a flop in the middle of the paint there. 15 dishes to number 2 for a layup. I don't think this flop affects 15's ability to make the pass or to make the play, or subsequently number 2 to make the layup. However, if you feel it affects the ability of number 15 to make the pass or number 2's ability to take the shot because he goes to the floor, then we should have a blocking foul. It is not legal guarding position to lay on the ground. So just keep that in mind when a player flops and just falls over with little to no contact, that if there is going to be a foul, it could be on the defensive player if he trips up the shooter or the offensive player. But we don't want to take away a layup or easy shot opportunity if there is minimal contact on a flop. So just keep that in mind when you see these plays. But overall, I think a good no call in this situation, in my opinion. Earlier in this tape, I talked about screening principles and what you can and can't do, and I think this is a pretty good example of what you can't do. Excellent off-ball officiating by the C. He's looking at players. He's not looking at the ball. He comes in with a nice sell and just very nice mechanics and good off-ball coverage. And listen in from the commentary just to see what their opinion is.
Kelly just trying to fight through a screen as Fergus was running this play. Watch this double screen, and Kelly, you got to go around him. You can't go through him. That's a foul.
With that, that's our last tape of this series. I'm very proud of our officials in Minnesota. We work very hard to do a good job for the players and coaches and fans every night. We don't get them all, but we do our best. And hopefully these tapes were useful for you and the memos were useful. As I've said before, you don't have to agree with everything I say, but hopefully it fosters some communication and some discussion in pre-games and other times throughout the season. So good luck with the postseason. Congratulations to those who are working section and state tournaments, and I look forward to seeing you all soon. Take care.